Hello there, my crafty friends. It's Ashley Pfeiffer, the maker behind Stampin' AF. This is take 2 of this video and will be my 3rd project using this fun technique. I realized after I designed this, and I will tell you this is not my design, but when I created this, it was for my niece and I wanted to use kind of a fun theme. But I also realized that I had used Hippo Happiness last week. So, well, this is adorable, and I'm going to show you both. I wanted to use a new set from the upcoming mini catalog, the Menagerie Mix-Up, so that I'm not using the same product 2 weeks in a row, but these are equally adorable. And my video just was not up to my standard, so I'm redoing it, and I'm just going to redo one of the cubes in here, and I will show you how to make the box. So, here we go. That is the Hippo Happiness. We've got that little sheep, the butterfly, the unicorn, which went kind of funny with the Wink Stella, and then the hippo. And then for a farmyard theme, we've got a sheep, a bunny. I put dimensionals on their heads, so I flipped them around so that there wouldn't be too much bulk. And then the piggy. Now I used the Playing with Patterns DSP on this one, and I thought, okay, well, I'll redo the pig and I'll use Petal Pink, because this color isn't really Blushing Bride. But as it turns out, it's not really Petal Pink either. And the DSP in the catalog does not tell us what color this is. So I'm just going to redo it as is so that you can see me make another one. Actually, you know what? Maybe we'll make a 4th one. What could we do? Let's do a cat. So let's do some Soul Saffron, and we'll make a cat. Because we can fit 4 in here, and there's nothing wrong with my pig, so why remake it? But I was editing my video, which is already super late. It should have been up this morning for you, this morning being Monday, and I just didn't have any great ideas. So I woke up thinking about this technique, because I made this one for my niece, and I thought, let's switch it up, because it's exactly what I used last week. But I wanted this to be a great video for you. So instead of fixing those, because there's nothing wrong with them, let me show you how to make another one. And then we'll make another box. I don't need another box, but you need to see how to make it. Okay, so I'm going to move all of these guys out of the way. You don't need a lot of supplies to make this, and let me tell you, it is so much easier than it seems. So much easier. All you need for each of these boxes, you need 2 sheets of cardstock. You need an elastic, which unstretched is 2.5 inches. You need some scissors and some glue, honestly, and a paper trimmer. Okay, got my fancy-dancy instructions written on the cardboard for my paper pumpkin. We're going to extend this arm, and on the 8.5 inch side, we're going to trim off 1/4 inch, so 8 1/4. And I'm just going to do 1. I'll show you the 1 of everything, but I will also be doing the second one because we need 2 to do this. So it's 7.5 on this side. Now, on the 7.5 inch side, we are scoring at 2 3/4, 3.5, 4 1/4, and 7 inches. On the 8 1/4 side, we are scoring at 2 3/4 again, and 5.5. Now, while we're here, we're also, let me show you this. We are cutting out these pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we are cutting, I find it easier to do with my trimmer. We're going to cut up to that 3rd score line, and you'll see why in a moment. And then we're going to do the same on this side. And I cut just to the right of the score line because I don't want that little score in there. Now these 2 are going to be tabs, so we're going to cut off at that second score line. So that part comes out, sorry, third score line. So 1, 2, 3 comes out, and then the same on this side, but we're leaving that tab. Oops. Okay, so that is the basis of it. Now what we're going to do is that score line and that score line, that worked out perfectly. We're gonna snip that off. I find it easier to keep my thumb or finger on this score line as I line up that one. Okay, so that is the basis. Now I'm gonna show you this one, and then I will do my second one. Now this is not my design. I watched a video. I've been so scared to try this. It looks so cool, but the instructions always look so intimidating. But I watched a video by May made it, and she made it look so easy. And I just had to give it a try. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to fold that down. We're going to take out a little bit of this bulk. Usually it's not necessary, but I cut on the outside of that score line, so it's leaving a little bit of extra bulk, which will make it harder to fold. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put our finger here, and now we're bringing this corner to this corner. And then just give it a score. We don't need that piece under there. And now we're going to cut that off. There are so many tutorials for this fun technique, and May was talking about one by a woman named Edith. And Edith does what most do and uses an elastic that has to be cut and then tied. Well, May and I don't like the feeling of tying elastics. So with these couple of tweaks, you don't have to. Okay, now you see these 3. We're going to do a mountain and then 2 valleys. And then we are going to take a big notch out of that. Go as wide as you can. Oops, maybe not that wide. And this part right here is what allows the untied elastic to work. Okay, and then fold that and notch. Now I will show the process of me doing the second one, but I'm going to speed it up. Now we are ready to assemble. So I'm just going to fold down that flap, put some glue, not quite that much, and I'm going to flip it so that they are facing the same way. So if you look at these as kind of the arms or wings, we want this tab at the end like we have on this one, and then what we're going to do is just flatten that, line it up and flatten it down. Way too much glue. Okay, now here is where the magic happens. So we're going to squeeze in those little wings. Actually, before we do that, let's stretch this out a bit. Put that on there, and it's going to come to where we did that mountain fold. And then on this one, we don't need to squeeze the arms. We're just going to put it like this. And now I'm going to bring in my trimmer. And this is a fun little trick. So what we need to do is we need to stretch this, and we need it to stay put. And the easiest way to do that without getting a line, like I almost just did there, is to use the Stampin' Trimmer because it kind of locks down. So now all I have to do is make sure that piece is out. And now what I'm going to do is just put glue on these two little flaps. But it is very important that you go all the way to the corners. And you will see why. So just on those little flaps. My glue is going crazy. And then we're going to put this down. You can kind of lift up those elastics. And we're going to just line it up. You want to make sure the elastic is on top of that. Line it up and press it down. Now we're going to switch ends. We're going to have that clamp keep that part down so it sets. And then we're going to do this side. Now with this side, we're still going to do the glue on the flaps all the way to the corners. You could use tear and tape, but I find that liquid glue works better. So you're going to keep those down, and now we're just going to press that down. And now the other piece should be good and set. So we can put that under or just hold it for a few seconds. And then what we're going to do is put glue on this flap here. And then lift this up just the tiniest bit so that we can put that in there. And I'm going to leave that to sit for just a moment. And what we'll do is we'll now find some DSP to match the So Saffron. So this is the Playing with Patterns DSP, like I mentioned, and the July Creativity Without Borders actually features this paper. Kelly and I are using the So Much Happy bundle, English or French. This was a question I had yesterday. It's such a great question. You can order it in French. So you have the option to add on the bundle, but included with your supplies to make the 8 cards is a full pack of this Playing with Patterns DSP, a full pack of the Playing with Patterns ribbon, the combo pack, and then also the resin dots, the Playing with Pattern resin dots. So all of the details can be found on my website, and registration is open until Friday at noon Central Time. Friday, July 24th, in case you're not watching this the day that it's released. Now, I've got this piece of So Saffron, and I'm just thinking this would be great, but I'm only going to get 2 colors per thing, right? So I need 2 pieces that are 2.5 by, or 4 pieces that are 2.5 by 2.5, and I don't think this is going to do it, but I also think that may be a little bit too busy, but let's go with this because it kind of looks like hay. So 2.5 by 2.5. In the comments below, I would love to know if you prefer this type of video where almost everything is in real time and I am just talking as I go, or if you prefer the sped up version and a voiceover. Because I make these videos for you, I would like to know which you prefer. So now our box should be ready to go. And as you can see, the animals are all tone on tone. When I had done this originally, my first video was a ridiculous length, and I had stamped them with these same colors but on Whisper White, and they looked terrible. So I ended up re-recording that part because they just did not look right. So for the cat, I'm thinking we'll use this little body. There's the one with the arms out, and there's the more timid one to me, which is the one with the hands in. We're going to use the football head. We need some cat ears. piece ones. And you want to stamp these away from each other unless you're doing a 1-layer card or you're gonna fussy cut them. You need to stamp them away from each other. We'll do our little whiskers in there. I think that's it. Oh, we need some eyes. We're gonna do these cute little eyes because I just love them so much. So we'll do tone on tone. So saffron. All of the animals were created in a similar fashion where I chose the body, the ears, the face, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to show you how I made all of these animals because it's the exact same process, just with different colors and different pieces. So to make this quick, I'm gonna do this and then I'll show you the box. And then that's it. So this is what I mean. You want to glue that part because we're going to pop the head up on dimensionals, but the rest of it is just going to be flat on the box. So let's decide, do we want the tail on that side or on that side? That side seems kind of sad, doesn't it? So let's do it on this side. I think the possibilities with this stamp set are going to be endless. You can create any number of critters with the pieces that are included in the set and beyond. Okay, so I tend to look at this and I want to push here, but it's actually on the opposite side. Now, because that's more opposite, I might actually, or sorry, it's more obvious on that side, I might use this as my front. And for all of them, I folded it and I did it on the right side. So I want to do that same thing on here. Oh, I'm so glad I decided to do the cat instead of redoing the pig. So like I said, for the head, we're just going to pop that up on some dimensionals. And in case I forget to say it at the end, if you make this, I would love to see it. You can tag me on Facebook or Instagram at StampedAF. Okay, and I'm just going to fill in the little nose because that's what I did on the rest of them. With the exception of the cow. It would have been filling the whole thing. Okay, so there is our little farm cat. And you could add little stripes or something, but we're going to leave it like that. I think the addition of the So Saffron just completes this, doesn't it? So let me show you the box very quickly. And I'm just going to do it plain white this time. When I did it the last time, I used the Love What You Do stamp set, and I used these two little stamps to make my little cow pattern. I'm not going to do that this time. I'm just going to show you the measurements of the box, and then we'll do some ribbon. Because in both instances, when I made, oops, forgot that was going to happen. When I did the ribbon, I used the gorgeous, I mean, honestly, this stuff feels like butter. It is so incredible. And you probably think that that's that spot stamped underneath, but it's actually on the ribbon. I used the little confetti bits in the hippo happiness, and I used those same dots for the cow. So I'll use something for this one. But you can make this ribbon customized to whatever you want. It's so awesome. And you can see all you have to do is push. Those go back down. Lid goes on, keeps it all together. You could put money in there. You could put gift cards, so many things. But let me show you this box quickly. It doesn't take very long. So I'm using 2 pieces of Whisper White Thick. Unfortunately, you can't get it out of one piece. But for the top, it is 7 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then we're going to score it at 1 inch on all 4 sides. And you can just hang on to that for something else. Slide that down and do our 1-inch score on all 4 sides. And before I cut anything, I like to make sure that the pieces are going to fit. Nothing worse than creating your box and finding out that the contents don't fit. So what I'm going to do while I'm here is I'm going to notch this because I find it easier to do on my trimmer than with my scissors. I could have probably kept that there to do that piece. And we're just gonna notch it. Take that little piece of pie out. Pizza pie. Okay, so now notch, 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 and notch. And that is all there is to the bottom. And I did not stamp anything onto the bottom of the box because I knew we wouldn't be seeing much of it. And there is a thumb notch that we're going to do, but I'm not going to do it until this is assembled, and I will explain why. I'm not going to move my trimmer because I know I'm going to need it in about 20 seconds to do the top. But here I'm just going to line this up and make sure that it's square. Tombow can move really easily, but once it starts to set, it's good for life. Oh, I didn't do what I said I was going to do. Let's flatten this, make sure it's going to fit. Yes, going to fit. My English today, I'm done, guys. I've done too much today. I had to go to the bank and get a new bank card because my account got a fraudulent expense, and it wasn't just a little fraudulent expense. I cleared out my bank account until payday, and it could take a month to get the money back. Not cool. Okay, so for the top, we are doing 9 1/8, so we have to use the 11-inch side. 9 1/8 by 5 7/8. I'm sorry that there's so many 8s in this, but it is what it is. So there's the 6, so we're gonna stop right there. And on this one, we're not doing any scoring on the long side. We're basically creating a sleeve. So we are starting with 1 1/8, and I always find it easier to score on that side. I'm gonna park my cutting blade. 1 1/8, turn it around. I need to clean my trimmer. 4 3/8, 5 1/2, and 8 3/4. So for the thumb notches, before I forget, we're using a 1-inch circle punch, and the reason I like to do this when the box is assembled is it can only go so far. If I do this before the box is assembled, I have a tendency to go too deep, and then it's too much of a notch. So this way you can only go to the bottom there. And this doesn't work with all boxes. It's just because this is 1 inch thick. Okay, so that is the project. Let's put these back in here. So because these heads are on dimensionals, I'm going to alternate them. So one head that way, the other head this way. Right and left. And they're gonna pop out of here. No one's gonna notice that they're facing one way or the other. Oh, look at that. It's just ready to explode. Okay, so should we try it? Now, when I did this, I did not put a sentiment on it. One, because I didn't put it on before I mounted it. And two, I don't know what I'm going to use this for yet. It could be a birthday, it could be a new baby, it could be anything. So there we go. I hope that you enjoyed that. I sure enjoyed making it for you. And if you need any of the supplies to make this or any other project using Stampin' Up! Supplies and you live in Canada, I would love to earn your business. stampedaf@gmail.com is my email. stampedaf.ca is my blog. And you can find everything you need to know there. So I thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon, my crafty friends. Bye.